folks around here. Good morning. It's 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, we have Desi Aguilar and Amy McVay-Tellez. And also joining us here is one of the, I guess you were one of last year's scholarship recipients, correct? Haley Gonzalez as well. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning?
Doing good.
Good deal. So are you a senior now, or were you a senior last year?
I was a senior last year.
So you've graduated. You're doing your thing now. I didn't know if you because for folks, I know I'm jumping because you can apply as a junior, and in theory, I didn't know if you were one of the ones that's like I'm gonna go do this 2 times or whatever. Then you can see not the 1 time but 2 times scholarship champ here. But good morning, and first off, congratulations on winning that scholarship last year.
Thank you.
Before we get, I know I'm all over the place here. We were talking here, but coming up here March 21st and 22nd, and I was talking about this with Damon the other day. Leadership Roswell Alumni Association has really 3 things that kind of stand out in the community that for people outside of Leadership Roswell are aware of or understand. One's the candidate forums that we do. We just had one of those. Y'all might have heard about it. I would say our banquet honoring our leaders in our community, and the teen leadership program here that Leadership Roswell Alumni Association partnering with NMMI for years on this thing, and it's coming up again March 21st and 22nd. It's a 2-day camp, I guess you could say, for high school juniors and seniors from all over. I don't care if you're from Roswell or Artesia or Timbuktu. Come on down here, and of course that's a heck of a commute, but but you do you. But and I would say this, and I'll let Haley kind of talk more about it because she's actually gone through the program here. But this really is it's a leadership program that puts these kids in opportunities to do things that you really sometimes don't get to do in other environments. In the classroom, sometimes it's hard to recreate some of these things. You might see some of this in sports and things, but not to this level, too. The program is designed at, teaching leadership and being part of it, but it's also designed to put the students a little bit out of their comfort zone, do things to that maybe aren't part of their normal day, and say, you know what, we're going to put you in the spotlight to show you what it's like to handle when you get in these moments. And obviously it's in a training environment versus a real world scenario. So yeah, they're doing things that may seem a little scary or above their thing, but it's not. it's all done. Is that pretty, Desi? Is that kind of sums it up pretty good as far as the program goes?
There's going to be a lot of students who are coming into this with some trepidations, wondering, why should I do this?
Yeah.
But they're absolutely welcome to come develop their own skills that they don't even know they have.
Sure. So now I'm going to put it to you, Haley, as a graduate and a scholarship award winner from this program. How did you get into it, and what impact did it have on you?
So it was actually, I was the COVID graduate, so 2020, and we weren't even in school yet.
Did you get an asterisk next to you?
Yeah. My mom actually, she's in the Redcoats, so in the Chamber of Commerce over here. So she actually got an email about it, and she sent it to me, and she was like, make sure you apply. Around this time, everybody's like, you got to apply for scholarships, you're going to college. And I was like, okay. So I applied for it kind of like, not necessarily as a joke, but I was like, nothing's going to come up with it. And then they sent me an email. They said, you're missing 2 days of school, and you're going to be at this camp. And I said, fun. And so I went, and it was kind of weird because that's what, like I said, it was during COVID, so we had to do it at church on the move.
Gotcha. So it's a little bit different than some of the other years.
Right. So we get there, and I didn't know anybody there. It was a lot of people, because a lot of my friends, they didn't apply for scholarships. They're like, oh, we're not interested in that. So I was like, okay. And at the time, nobody really knew about it. So I was just sitting there kind of by myself, huddled there. And they had breakfast for us. It was good. We had a warm-up. And for the first couple hours, I'd say it was a bunch of kind of trying to get warm, get your feet wet, get in there.
Just kind of learning the lay of the land a little bit, yeah.
But right off the bat, they were really good to getting us involved. Like, they did the games, trying to learn each other's names. It was making a competition, and it was really, really fun. And we just did different activities throughout the day, trying to get us involved and doing these little critical thinkings that you wouldn't think is critical thinkings. Really more just games.
Yeah. But I'm curious. You said at the beginning you knew not one single person in that all your friends, they were like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You did it. I'm curious. By the end of those 2 days,
At the end of the days, everybody knew everybody.
yeah, I
Everybody
was say you probably still have a relationship with a couple of
Yeah.
those folks, still probably, don't you?
Yes, especially the ones from NIMBY that they're like, oh, well, I came from so and so here. I'm traveling from here. So we met a lot of people, and then we added each other on Snapchat. You know, we got our numbers. We text each other. We see each other around now. Some of them actually go to Eastern New Mexico, where I go here.
Okay.
So I mean, we kind of see each other, wave.
See them around the campus and things
Yeah.
like that too. Good deal. Which, by the way, guess what's paying for her, or at least a good hunk of her classes right now is that scholarship from last
yeah.
year. That's amazing. But I would say like you said, you going in after those 2 days when you left it, what were you feeling? What were some of the like the things you took away from it? Like when you after those 2 days, were you kind of like I imagine probably a little more confident in yourself.
Yeah.
What were some of the feelings you had after the 2-day event?
It was the funny thing is I came home and I was telling my mom about it, and I was like, I signed up for this kind of like she put it on me, like you need to get the scholarship.
You
but
went in kicking and screaming
Yeah.
a little bit. I get it.
And so when I was coming home, I told her, I was like, honestly, it's not really about the scholarship anymore. I was like meeting so many different people, hearing their stories. Like everybody's there for something. But at the end of the day, if I came home with just the experience from team leadership, I'd be satisfied.
You know, you just said something that was pretty powerful there. It's like, yeah, we're dangling the carrot with a scholarship, but that's not the prize. That's just the carrot. The prize is what you take from it. Like you said, if I didn't win the scholarship, what I got here was so valuable. I mean, and that's what we're trying to tell people. And I'm glad you said that, because I mean, yes, the scholarship's awesome. It's nice. And that's, hey, we're all trying to do that so we can achieve the goals we want to. But at the end of the day, the real things that are going to suit you and serve you the rest of your life are those interactions, those lessons learned, those moments where I'm sure there's probably a couple of things you did and you're like, this sucks. You know what I mean? And you're sitting there like, this just stinks, man. What are we doing? And then you get through it and you're like, that was all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something to be said about achieving things, especially something you're really struggling with, and then you go through it as a team and you break it down and figure it out, and that, because that gives you, when you feel something that you feel so insurmountable and then you accomplish that goal, then you're like, all right, what's next? We're going to go fly off building? I mean, I got this. Superman put the big S on my chest. I'm ready to go tackle the world. You know what I mean? Was it a little bit like that for you?
Yeah, the cool thing is they kind of split us up into two separate groups. So it was kind of like they would be doing one game, challenge, task, however everybody wanted to see it. Then we would be doing a different one. And it was like a competition. Like it was like your team, you're like, well, we're going to stick together. We're going to do it better. Oh, they did it in 3 seconds. We're doing it in 1.
Gotcha.
And we would push and push. Like,
Push
we
each
can
other.
do it faster. We can do it faster. And like I said, at the time, you think it's just a game, but we're thinking critically. You're like, oh, well, how can we cut our time in half? How can we do this? How can we do that? But they kind of like trick us into it, because we think we're playing a game, but in reality, we're using all of our different motor skills. Like there's so many different tasks that we had to do, whether it was flying on a carpet, trying to get from point A to point B, or putting the tennis ball on a cone, or doing this chicken rope thing. They were putting different names for different things. But like I said, it seemed like a game, but in the end, we were doing so much.
You're really trying to solve the scenario. Don't worry. If you ever someday go in, which I hope you do, apply for the Leadership Roswell program, you're going to you might find some familiar ground when you get in there. And you're like, I remember some of this stuff. It looks a little familiar here. But Desi and through Jimmy, you kind of, with the program here, that's all by design. Like she said, they kind of like tricked us here. It's like, they knew your response. These were designed specifically to challenge and create those responses, right?
Yeah.
That's really what the program's
Eric
about.
Everson runs a great program over there, and he's got his team of facilitators that they know exactly what they're doing, and they do it without even thinking. It's second nature to them. So
Yeah.
and they pull in all the students.
Sure.
And,
Well, that's they're in the leadership business. That's what
right.
you guys do at the New Mexico Military Institute. You educate and create leaders. And so if anybody's pretty good at it, it should be you guys. Kind of got a couple years of experience doing that. Just a couple hundred. But anyway. But I want to, we're coming up on a deadline here. So we need to act fast. If you're interested, if you I don't think there's probably a lot of high school juniors or seniors listening right now. They're in school, but if there is, or parents of high school juniors and seniors that are listening, tomorrow is the deadline to get your applications in. Shoot a text to your kids or whatever. Send them, call the school. I don't care. Tell your kids, to pick up an application from their guidance counselors at the high school. That pretty much all the local high schools got them. So if you're listening to me on the radio, your high school guidance counselor should have an application. If they do not, maybe they gave them all away or whatever, but if they don't, you can shoot an email to roswellteenleadership@gmail.com. All one word, roswellteenleadership@gmail.com. They'll get you an application, but you got to get them turned in by end of business tomorrow. You can email them back to that same email. Is that probably the best way to get them back to you? And then get those filled out. Now, are the applications similar to the Leadership Roswell one, where they're thought-provoking questions? These aren't just
They are.
yes, no,
Right.
I'm 16, whatever that is. They want to know a little bit about what makes you tick and why you're here. So be warned. Just don't think you're going to sit down,
Exactly.
fill in a couple things, and you're going to need to spend some time on this.
Not a
studying
5-minute
it.
application.
Yeah. So you're a little bit behind the 8 ball here right now, because we're 24 hours away from getting this turned in. But you got time. You can do it. Get those application day. Well, tell your kids or call the schools and say, hey, send an application with my child home today. We need to get this filled out and get those turned in tomorrow. But allow your students some time to sit and do some thought-provoking answers.
And we need sponsors still. It's not too late.
Absolutely.
We have amazing sponsors, and Desi has the list. But let's be clear. If you're sitting here thinking, teen leadership, I don't have anything to do with teen leadership. I don't have a junior or senior. You could help make another scholarship possible. Last year, every student went home as a winner in 2 ways, meaning every single student, you're a winner leaving this with your experience and a certification, and that certificate that is great to have on a resume.
Yeah.
But every student went home last year with
Something.
something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we would love that to be possible. So Desi, remind everybody, I don't have that list.
The sponsor list.
Yes, I think
Right.
that's amazing.
So far, of course, the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, they're the biggest part of this. We're putting on the whole show. New Mexico Military Institute has always been the biggest supporter of that, providing a lot of not just the resources, but also
The instruction, the
That's
tutelage,
right.
the leadership, the
The
part
actual,
where they're good at.
that's right. The ROTC program is also putting some in this year as well. ENMUR, Pioneer Bank, Armstrong Energy Corporation, XL Energy, New York Life, and Character Counts.
Awesome. All those organizations understand the importance of what comes from this program.
And
things
it is
like
not
that.
too late to be a sponsor and be on the T-shirt,
Yeah.
right, Des?
That's right.
Well, and like you said, the more sponsors, the more scholarship money. So if you're like going, well, I know the things of tomorrow, yeah, great. You donate I'm just going to throw a number out, $1,000. That $1,000 is going to go in some kid's hand tomorrow,
That's right.
or this, on the
And
26th.
Haley's right. It's not about the money, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if we can impact somebody's life and create an additional opportunity, that we're all in. Haley's fixing to graduate. But one thing that's important for me is that she's our family now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bug
Sorry,
her
you're
where she's working
Got
or
your hooks
whatever.
right in there.
And we're going to push her. We're never going to stop pushing. We're never going to stop caring.
Yeah.
And we're in this together.
So what are you doing? What are you going to school for right now? Just curious.
I'm actually going for undergrad. It's going to be criminal justice, and when I was younger, it's always like, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer, start criminal justice. But being in the criminal justice learning, I think I'm moving more towards criminology, investigation, or forensic scientist.
So you kind of want to be like the CSI folks and
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So which is more exciting for you, the science side or the investigative?
The investigating side,
Okay.
more hands-on.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, part of me still goes back to lawyer. Like my heart's still there, but
Sure.
I mean, I still want that hands-on. I still want to be foot in.
Sure.
So
Good
we'll
deal.
see.
Well, great. Well, at least you know the area, you know the direction, and that's good because you know what? I'm not going to lie. You're going to be going through school and you might change again. You might be going through and say, you know what? There's this aspect I like a little better. But that's great too. Have you had a chance to maybe talk to some of our local RPDs and some of those about some of the job and things like that, and kind of people that do the job, and got a chance to kind of explore it a little bit?
Well, actually, my teacher now, Romo Villegas, he's actually really good with that, and he brings
Okay.
a lot of people in to talk to us. We've talked to CSI, FBI,
cool.
blood training, probation officers, parole. Like, he brings a lot of people in just in class.
Good. And you caught them in good moods. We're not investigating you. They're
Oh,
just-
yeah.
they're just
And by the way,
talking.
he's part of our program too, right? He's a leadership program.
Oh, is he alum
He
as
is.
well? All right. Well,
Yes.
guess what? You might be put
Yes,
to work.
he's been involved in past years.
Good deal.
Really, he's
That's
always
awesome.
Oh, nice.
Good deal. Excellent. So let me but again, like Amy was saying, we need to get those more sponsorships. The more I know, we got a good list of and good groups, but always more room for more folks there. So if you're a business or an individual and you're listening and said, you know what, that's a program that's really good for the future of our community, I'd like to help make sure
it's
that keeps
never
going.
about the money to me. It's just the cherry on top, right? Though,
It is.
You know,
It's
it's not about the money and the experience, but if we can impact their lives on the flip side, boom.
It's kind of like the carrot dangling, kind of like you said earlier. Is that the money's nice, but that's not the biggest reward I got from this, and that speaks volumes there, especially. Like, we're old people. We're supposed to say things like that. You know what I mean? But when someone in youth like yourself understands it gets at that age, you don't realize how valuable that tool will be for you down the road. Because some of us spend our whole lives learning these lessons, and they don't learn them at all or till they're too late. And the fact that you're still, you're still got the whole world ahead of you here, and you're just, in college now, and you're figuring out now, you're setting yourself up pretty good. So you're doing awesome. That's
I want to
great.
thank Eric too, huh, Desi?
Yes,
Eric,
absolutely.
Desi just texted me before this if we had our agenda, our itinerary, and it's evolving and it's changing. Why? Because that's how serious Eric takes it. Mm-hmm. It's very intentional to impact, and like Haley was saying, on the flip side, they're doing things that are pulling out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so effective. Is how, and Eric always wants to be the silent partner.
Sure.
But he's so significant. He spends countless hours to make it work.
Sure.
And
That's
elevate it. And Haley's going to be impressed this year because we've elevated it.
Yeah?
It's,
Yes.
Yeah.
We've
Are,
Des, maybe a couple of steps up.
I think so.
Did they put you to work now? You're going to come and do some stuff at this one now that you're a graduate, and then I'm sure they got you involved somewhere.
Yeah, so we found each other like in the store actually, and I told her, I was like, it was such a good program, and I was explaining to her too, like, yes, the money was nice being the top recipient, but at
Sure.
the same time, just being in the experience, it was fun. Like, I would want to go in there and let the students know, like, yes, like, it's probably like you're gonna think it's boring, it's gonna take 2 of my days, it's gonna be this and that, but like coming from it was just so much fun, and
Yeah.
I would honestly do it again, whether it was just a camp just to go hang out
Sure.
with my
And
friends one more time.
Haley's the leader because when she would see me, she would remind me, I haven't heard from you yet. And I love
Wow.
that. You know what I'm saying?
To get her to remind you, because she's the one doing it to everybody else.
And I
So-
sang it to her last night. Yes.
That's great. It's awesome. I'm so happy that A, you found the program. Thank you, Mom, for dragging me kicking and screaming into
Oh,
this,
yeah.
because-
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah,
Yes.
that-
We need
that's
more moms.
amazing. And-
Yeah, and it's funny because in the little letter that they give us in the email, they say dress comfortably because we're going to be doing things. I said, Mom, this is a scholarship. This isn't, because it says Navy on there. So I'm like, I'm not going to be a cadet. And
Right.
she's like, you don't know what they have for you. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
And maybe we should clear that statement up right now. The scholarship money is wherever you want to go with it. It's
Right.
to an accredit. You're not obligated to go to NMMI or Eastern or that money it follows you wherever you choose to do your
Right.
secondary education. So if it's going to an accredited whatever it is, it's a trade school, college, any secondary, it's yours to do that with.
Right.
So just I do want to put that out there, and just because NMMI and everything is very much part of the program by no now, of course, if you want to learn more about NMMI and continue with some of the things you learn there, then they'll be happy to get to that path because and in actuality, that's like if you are thinking about NMMI. And you're like, can I handle a little bit of some of the discipline that's involved in NMMI? Now, you guys don't run this like a military. It's not
Oh,
like
no.
that. You guys
No.
aren't in uniforms and all
Not
that.
at all.
But at the same time, there is discipline, there is structure, there is those aspects that NMMI is very much part of the fabric of that community here. So even if you want to get a little bit of taste of what life at NMMI is like, this could be beneficial for you too. So if you're a junior and senior and you're thinking, maybe I want to go to junior college, or maybe I'm a junior and I want to do my senior year, this could be that little chance to see, peel back that curtain a little bit too. So this can be used for multiple reasons for students here. So take advantage of it. It's all there. And that's the thing here, cost.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it
There's
really...
no
There
fee.
isn't any. That's the thing. This is all we want is kids that are going to work hard and put in the effort. You know, the money, we got that covered. We got this here covered. We'd love to get more support from sponsors here so we can, it'd be great if every one of these kids walks out and they got a good hunk of college, planned for because they participated in that. I mean, that's a lofty goal, but, we can do that if people want to believe in this program and see what it's about. And I imagine, too, if there's people that want to kind of maybe get involved for future stuff, sponsors things, pop on by in the 21st. Come see what's going on at the camp. Come see what the activities you're doing, seeing. And I imagine once you see it in action, those people are like, yeah, I want to invest more money into this. You know what I mean?
Right.
They will get backpacks, goodie bags, whatever you want to call them. If somebody's listening and wants to donate items to put in those backpacks, it's not too late. Huge shout out to Lori Dudick. She supplied some great, and I know Pioneer, and thanks to, but I just thinking, you think, how this doesn't relate to me. You can represent your company and bless other kids by just putting items in the backpacks.
Yeah.
And that
This
kind
is
of
a community thing.
Yeah.
This is what this is. This is what makes the Roswell and this community a great place. Is we want to do things for and obviously this camp is open to more than just Roswell students. We would love to have all youth here, but
The challenge is on, right, Desi?
Yeah.
We have
right.
some schools that are not being represented.
We would love to see more
Gateway,
representation.
we need you.
yeah, and I know
University High, early college, we need you. I don't know. Artesia.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd love to have representation, right, Des?
even for
Lake
folks,
Arthur.
yeah,
Oh, Lake Arthur.
Dagerman.
Oh, yeah.
Dagerman, Lake Arthur, yeah,
Hondo,
Dexter,
Hondo.
all
the
those
challenge is on. I think it would be so cool to be representing so many different schools. I think that's what
And that
Let's
was
even-
that was a cool thing there too. Like there wasn't just I'm from Roswell High, so I'm just gonna hang out with Roswell High kids. There was
Sure.
I was with Artesia kids carrying up Goddard kids on my side and
Nice.
piggyback riding with Dexter and it was everybody
awesome.
there.
Yeah, and then you realize at the end of the day, because I imagine like your little high schools and you probably talk and everything's like those kids over there, and then you meet them and you're like, they're just like us.
Yeah, they're not that bad. Going in there, you're just like, well, we beat you at football. We did you at this. We did and you go in there and you have to give them a piggyback ride. So you really got to open up. But yeah, you're like, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny, and I imagine that you had that realization.
Yeah, when you
It's
go
like-
in there.
Yeah, but even like your high school years, when you're in high school, and it's kind of like you're very much your team and this thing and that, and then you graduate and you get the bigger world a little bit, and you're like, I get the family and the cliques, but we all experience those same things, even if we're wearing a blue uniform or an orange uniform or a red uniform. You know what I mean? It's those same experiences and things like that. And we find out we have more in common than we realize.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care what your culture, background, if you live here in the United States, we all have more in common than we think. We all probably at the end of the day want the same things, believe in the same things. And you find that out when the world gets a little bigger for you sometimes, don't you? So, Pretty cool. Again, best way to get these applications, visit your high school guidance counselors. All the local schools have them. And if that's not an option for you, email roswellteenleadership@gmail.com, all one word, and or call too.
Call Desi. Give them their phone number if you have questions that need answer.
575-420-8732.
Very good.
And call, but by shout out, if you contact the Historical Society, we've got $10,000 in scholarships for all seniors. And if you needed information about teen leadership and you wanted to apply for those, you can call the museum 622-8333 or email me at historydirector@outlook.org because we are all in to bless these kids.
I will
That's
tell you
what
this.
it's all about.
I will even add more. So if you're looking for money for college, Historical Society's got a great opportunity. This one here as well.
Yes.
I'll even throw one more of the things I'm involved. American Legion Post 61.
Yay!
If you go to roswelllegion.org, they've got like $1,500 scholarships that they're going to be awarding. Those are for veteran families, things like that.
Awesome.
But if you've got those connections, things like that, please apply there. I think they require you to write an essay, and that's kind of similar to what the Historical Society does. But
And y'all have all the information on your calendar? Mark?
yeah, it's all up there. You can go get it
That's
all
so
there
helpful.
too. So that's another avenue for, and I'm just scratching the surface. Go talk to your guidance counselors and things. That's what they do. They dig up the money when you're looking for it. But there's a couple there too. So how close are you from? How far along in your college are you?
So actually, I tested out of my English program in my sophomore year. So I have all my English credits graduated with. So that's another thing. I did a lot of dual credit.
Okay.
So now I'm only 7 classes away from graduating.
Nice.
So
With associates?
Associates in criminal justice.
Nice.
Yay.
So what's next after that? Are you going to go for the bachelor's? Are you going to go pursue? Okay.
I'll major in, like I said, either pre-law, criminology,
Okay.
forensic scientist.
Do you know where you want to do that at yet?
Pre-law would be UNM.
Okay.
Maybe criminology would be Portales because another one of my scholarship transfers over there.
Okay.
So it's kind of
Awesome.
Well, and they got smart with the college in New Mexico. Over the last several years here, they pretty much lined it up. So if you take English at any New Mexico college, it's the exact same English in the other one, so it transfers seamlessly. So when you're going from ENMU Roswell to UNM or Portales or wherever in the state, that it seamlessly transfers.
Right.
So you're that wasn't always the case.
oh yeah, that was
And that's a game changer for many students and people. That just is. So that's great for you. So good deal. So do you want to come back here and be like you want to be in this area and be? Are you gonna be the police chief one day, or kind of running the CSI lab? We got you in that big truck, honking people get out of the way.
I'm not too sure where I want to take my career with
Sure.
me. I mean, granted, there's a lot of crime here in New Mexico, so I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to find a job around here.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna meet somebody. I mean, you might be in college, you might be after college, and then that's kind of like I'm from Maryland. I'm here because I met somebody. I mean, the Air Force
It
sent
always
me.
goes with-
The Air Force sent me to Mexico, but I stayed here because I met somebody, and I've been here since 1996 now. So yeah, that's how life happens sometimes. So yeah, that'll happen. But maybe it's here, maybe it's somewhere. But wherever it takes you, you're set up, and that's awesome. So.
Yes.
Right.
We wish you the best. And by the way, Desi, thank you for all you do. Desi's headed this up, and we thank him very much for what he does.
I know though.
Pretty cool dude.
You guys have been meeting. I don't know. I keep popping into the chamber, and you guys always seem to be having a meeting there. No matter what time of day. I walk in there to sign checks or going there to do whatever, and they're like, "They're meeting again." Jeez.
These kids are worth it. These kids are worth it. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So again, tomorrow is the deadline to get applications in, and there's no fudging on that. That's a hard deadline, right?
It's a hard deadline.
Yeah.
We will see where our numbers stand right after that.
All right.
But we need to order T-shirts. We need to do all
Sure,
this. Come
yeah.
on,
We're a couple
please.
weeks away from
Mike,
this
how many
happening.
times have you and I talked about procrastination on the radio? Every time I'm on the
I'd
radio.
like to say how many times we've been together and not talked about it. That'd be an easier number to determine.
Please, let's get this done today. Let's fill it up. I would love for Desi to come back on the radio and say we're full, right, Desi?
That would be
Yeah, that would be a good problem to have. Sorry.
Or have
We're
too many. We're gonna expand or do something.
And I ain't gonna lie, it should be that way because this event,
Yes.
this program is that good. The event and Haley here is a testament. She literally went in like whatever and came out as the biggest champion for this program. And
we did not drag her here.
Yeah, I noticed.
Thank you, Mom. Thank
No
you,
forced,
Mom.
she didn't try to run out the room or nothing, so we're all good. Very good. Is there any information we missed that we want to get out? Anything?
The
Go
only thing
ahead,
I'd like to mention is the timing on it.
Okay.
It's going to be held on a Monday, Tuesday this time instead of
Friday, Saturday.
Friday,
Friday, Saturday. So the kids will be excused from school when they get the applications
we
and all
talked
that
to all
stuff.
the principals and
They all are on board with this. So now, if you get into it and then don't show up, that you're going to
That's not
be
excuse.
your principals will come crack the whip on you, and you're going to be. But yeah, if you get so. Again, I guess we're dangling carrots.
Well, it's an amazing opportunity, and this is a very valuable opportunity.
Sure.
I know kids all over the world pay quality amount of money to have these experiences that we've intentionally offered to anybody in Africa.
Adults too. You don't know how many
sure.
thousands of dollars adults or companies pay for this kind of stuff,
Yes.
and it's the exact same things they're
Yes.
going through. And your students get to do this for free at a young age, where they actually can do and take this information and carry it wherever. It
And
doesn't
we
matter.
have
too.
testimonies. This is life changing.
another
Yeah.
thing too is, last year we did actually a day and a half, and it's been a day and a half for a while. But this year we're going back to a full 2 days.
Okay.
And because one of the chief comments that we had from the feedback last year was it wasn't long enough.
Gotcha.
Every
Isn't that
single
amazing?
person
How often
said-
you hear that?
Right.
That's
You know,
amazing.
from kids. By the way,
From
these are
kids.
students.
And
These are juniors and seniors where they've got so many other things to be
With
interested in. at that
senioritis,
moment.
and they're still wanting to stay
Yeah.
tuned. That's impressive.
And we had 100% of our participants last year said they would recommend it to someone else.
That's
100%.
amazing. So, and one's proofs in the pudding sitting right here recommended
That's
on the
right.
radio here. So, good deal. So please sign up for this. Take the if you or you yourself or you know someone that's a high school junior or senior. I don't know any single person of this group that says, no, I'm good. I couldn't use more help. I couldn't use more. I mean, all of us can do that. This one, now let's face it, if you will get awarded scholarships here, you're earning this. This is not, like she said, it's not just showing up and sitting in a classroom for a couple of days and go home. This is, you're getting active, you're getting involved, you're going to talk, you're going to do things, you're going to climb stuff, you're going to be solving problems, you're going to be doing things that are different than what you normally do. So
We had a couple of juniors last year as well, and they already signed up
Yes.
to come back this year.
Isn't that awesome?
And that's the other thing. Juniors, you get to do it twice. So
That's
if you're
right.
a junior now and you're coming through and you're like, man, that was awesome, you get to come back.
They
and
didn't
say,
like it last time. They wouldn't be here again.
We have had juniors get a scholarship their junior year and came back their senior. So if you think that's not possible, it is.
Absolutely.
You'd have to work for it hard.
I know a
But
couple. I
that's-
know at least one that won 2 years of
Yes,
scholarship.
that's right.
And by the way, I haven't said it this time, but the scholarship recipients, the award, that's all chosen by the peers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the this isn't like, I mean, the adults in the room to make sure it stays above board, but who's the top, person, who's all that. It's all selected by the people within the group. So it's coming.
Right.
And you'll be amazed. You think, well, is that a popularity contest? No. It's not. It really, you like this person, like you said, you knew not one single person when you started it. And I imagine, seeing your actions, your merits, things like that, the people saw it in you and said, you know what? Haley's the one that deserves that honor here.
Right. We
know?
filled out a paper and they were like, who was your leader? Who got people going? Who was your more shy friend who did a full 360? So it was anonymous too.
Yes.
Like, not like I wrote my name big on the top, like, oh,
Right.
I think so-and-so deserves this one. So it was,
Sure.
we just filled out a paper, like, who did you think personally, like, would do it? And we just turned in those papers and then we came back the next day.
Yeah.
As a leader, you're skeptical until you go through the process and see. I think that's one of the greatest testaments in my experience is those parents, they get it right.
They do.
I mean, because it's a balance between the adults.
Well, it's when you see it and you go and it's like, see, it does work. It does,
It really does.
And it doesn't matter generations or anything because it's humanity and it's lessons and they translate. I don't care where you grew up, where you came from, how old you are. These are lessons that translate across all.
I believe every student deserves this opportunity.
Yeah.
And another thing I'd like to mention too is, a lot of students may be hesitant to apply because, well, I'm not a leader. We had some that applied last year and they were not what you consider leaders at the time, but when they finished, they had made that 360. They had turned around completely and found out, oh yes, they are a leader, just a different type.
In
And
a
I
different way.
And I think you're going to find out we're all leaders in some way, shape,
That's
or form.
right.
We just don't.
Exactly.
We just don't we don't know how to bring it out, and sometimes this does that, brings it out. you know?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You need the right people to be around to help you grow because, I mean, you can be a leader, but at the same time, like I said, you need someone to piggyback. Even if I'm a leader, I still need somebody on my back to get to the other side of the corner. So
Sure.
that really helped us out. And I mean, like, even if I was right here, there's still like 5 other people that needed to get to this side. So someone has to step up, and being around those people really makes you like, okay, do or don't. Because like I said, it was a competition. We were all in it together. So we all
Desi,
push
will you
through.
please mention too if they have limited physicality, that's okay, right? They can lead in a unique way. Say there's an injury involved or something like that. You can still, these students still
Right,
could
right.
apply
Sure.
and be
and
involved.
any physical
I think that's
limitations
important.
we work around. So
Absolutely. Let's be clear.
don't
It
let
is
any of
not
that
physical.
stuff,
That's
so-
one of the biggest questions we've had.
Right.
Yeah, so if you have students that are handicapped, things like that, no problem.
Yeah,
we'll
for sure.
We'll work all around that. It's a team concept. That's part of it.
That's why we love that the most.
that actually probably poses challenge unique to some of them because if you got to get an entire group through and one's in a wheelchair, that's an added wrinkle that you
Right.
guys have to add into that equation. And
It's
that's
actually
part
like
of the process.
another one of the carrots that we dangle. It's like, hey, look at all the fun stuff you get to do.
Yeah.
There are things that we're going to try this year that we've never done before as
Yeah.
well.
Right. It's good.
So, but
Stepping it up.
Yeah, the only limitation to sign up for this is your desire to do it. So come, that's it. You got to be a junior, high school junior, senior, and that's really it. And sign up, get the applications in, turned in.
Call your
Again,
church groups, all those places,
Yeah.
just to help get the word out.
Absolutely, but don't dawdle. Deadline is tomorrow. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, reach out, call. You can call here, and I'll make sure you get that information too. So, good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And hopefully you're not investigating anything dumb I do in the future.
Hey, she might be. Haley could come back and haunt you, Mike.
I remember you. Where were you on the night of nothing? Don't worry about it. Hey, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.